a mosquito was heard to complain that a chemist had poisoned his brain. The cause of his sorrow was paradichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. Raise your hand if you enjoy the wild outdoors. Now raise your hand if you would enjoy the wild outdoors if there were less mosquitoes. Guess what? You're not the first person to think that. Today, we're going to be diving into the environmental extravaganza known as the chemical pesticide DDT. I've done a fair bit of research on this topic, and by the end of the day, you guys all should know a bit more about DDT than you ever really wanted to know. We're going to be going over a brief history and one of the major environmental impacts that DDT had on the environment. So, let's start off. What is DDT? Many people confuse DDT with the main ingredient in insect repellent, DEET. DDT and DEET are two very different chemicals, and it's important to understand that they are not the same thing before we move on in the speech. Now, DDT was a pesticide used to kill mosquitoes and other annoying insects. And according to the National Academy of Sciences, it was first synthesized in 1874, but it wasn't used until 1939. During World War II, it was used to keep our troops safe overseas from bloodborne diseases like malaria and West Nile virus. DDT was so effective that after the war, it was sold all over the country as a common household pesticide. And according to the CDC, DDT was the primary chemical used to eradicate malaria from our country. And this involved spraying down over 4 million households down with this chemical pesticide. Now, DDT seemed like a dream come true. No more bug bites, no more annoying mosquitoes. It almost seemed too good to be true. And it turns out it was. The consequences of DDT were brought to attention by Rachel Carson in her earth-shattering book, Silent Spring. In this book, she wrote, "Only within the moment of time, represented by the current century, has one species, man, acquired significant power to alter the nature of the world." Her book focused on the recent use of chemicals used to shape the environment and the consequences that using these chemicals could bring. One of the consequences was actually the near extinction of the bald eagle. Now, how this happened is a bit of a roller coaster, so buckle up. When DDT was sprayed, a lot of it would end up in lakes, rivers, and streams. And in these lakes, rivers, and streams, the algae that was living in the lakes would absorb the DDT. Now, fish would eat the algae, consuming the DDT alongside with it. And eventually, birds of prey, those are birds who eat prey, would eat the fish. Once again, consuming the DDT alongside with it. Now, what DDT did is it messed with the calcium metabolism inside of the bird's body. And basically what this meant is that it caused the eggshells of the eggs that birds laid to become very weak and very, very brittle. And so when birds laid eggs and mama bird went to sit on the eggs to keep them warm, the eggs would crack, killing the baby birds. This caused a dramatic drop in the bald eagle population. And according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, in 1963, there were only 467 nesting bald eagles left in the wild. Now, the effects of DDT weren't limited to only bald eagles. There were also ospreys, hawks, and other birds of prey that were affected by this. But because we live in America and the bald eagle is our national bird, the bald eagle is really the only bird that was seen as affected by the DDT to the major public. Now, once the link between DDT and the declining bird of prey population was realized, DDT was promptly banned in the United States and in many other countries. Now, so in case you fell asleep during my hippie tree hugger rambling, here's what you missed. You missed a brief history of the use of the chemical pesticide DDT, and you also missed one of the major environmental impacts that DDT had on the environment. So, next time you get bitten by a mosquito, just remember, it's better to have a bug bite than a bunch of bald eagles dying. Thank you.